Space Marine chapters and their parent legions contain some of the most in-depth lore and world building within any science fiction or fantasy setting. And what's even cooler than elite Marines in space? The elite of the elite. We've detailed half the original legions or their modern take 40k equivalents in this video. If you enjoy it, let me know by leaving a like and comment if you're one of our Titan subscribers. If you haven't subbed, consider hitting that sub button, and that way I'll see it was entertaining enough to help you to do so, and I'll know to make the other 9 legions or chapters. Some of these units are from the Horus Heresy setting, but there's nothing stopping you guys who collect the models from theming some 40k models or units around them. Ultramarines, the Victrix Honor Guard. The Ultramarines are well known for their poster boy status in 40k. The giant cardboard Ultramarine in your local hobby shop is enough to convey that message. Well, within the Ultramarines chapter, being an Honor Guard isn't a high enough accolade for some of Guilliman's sons, for there exists a separate elite formation who are responsible for guarding their Primarch. These are the Victrix Honor Guard. The Sons of Macragge are well known not just for their effective military strategies and tactical acumen, Rabute literally writing the book on Space Marine warfare, the Codex Astartes. However, their grasp on diplomacy and own brand of taciturn wisdom is second to none within the Imperium. The Victrix Guard have mastered both the statesman's art as well as proving themselves brave, selfless warriors in the thickest, most desperate of battles their chapter has taken part in recently. It is not enough for these men to master the blade or bolter if they wish to join the Victrix Guard. For one, an Ultramarine must first attain the lofty rank of Honor Guard, a rare accomplishment in itself. Further to this, a battle brother must put the needs of his chapter, and in particular his sworn brothers, before his own. Only then, by acts of selfless bravery and discipline, can one prove to Rabute Guilliman he is deserving of the invitation to protect his personage as a brother of the Victrix Guard. Night Lords, Atramentar. In a legion of sadistic madmen, the Atramentar of the Night Lords were elevated to this role by way of their singular devotion to the twin acts of murder and torture. In a legion such as the Night Lords, this one fact speaks volumes of the acts of depravity the Atramentar are capable of committing without a second thought or spark of pity. Within the era Indomitus, the unification as well as purpose of the Atramentar as the elite first company has been shattered and reforged many times for each individual Traitor Astartes over the long millennia since the death of their Primarch and commanding officer, Conrad Kurz and First Captain Sevatar, respectively. Though many traitor legions would fracture following the ruinous powers' defeat on Terra, the Night Lords Legion in the preceding years would perhaps suffer this fate more thoroughly than any other legion, given the strong, treacherous character of both raw recruits from Nostramo, as well as the sullen, at times insane traits Kerr's gene seed would imprint upon his sons. The Night Lord Legionnaires are perhaps more than any other Space Marine force, each bearing their own individual character, rebellious at the least, and ambitious in the extreme. As such, with the unifying character of both their Primarch and First Captain gone, many Marines would form their own warbands of various size and sail the stars to either forge their own futures, or more commonly, simply to satiate their bloodlust by inflicting horrifying fates upon any poor souls they could locate. The Atramentar are no exception. Their experience and might, which saw them elevated to the first company, would see them form honor guards for powerful, ambitious Night Lords, fashioning themselves a Chaos Lord. In this way, the individual Atramentar bodyguard would align their own sense of ideals with a brother they identified as being of strong character, and they would seek to protect their lord from all threats. Though, as is the case with the Night Haunter's children, more commonly, these leaders require protection from the ambitions of their followers. Blood Angels, Sanguinary Guard. The most elite formation within the Blood Angels chapter is that of the Sanguinary Guard, whose origin can be traced back to the Crusade era, predating even the Heresy. The hallmark winged jump pack which all Sanguinary Guard are equipped with was originally used by these veteran Marines to keep up with their Primarch during conflict. Sanguinius' own angelic white wings could carry him far above the brutal clash of blade and bolter of any battlefield. The Sanguinary Guard, both during the Horus Heresy as well as the current era Indomitus, fill the role of honor guard for the individual who leads the Blood Angels. Not only that, their legacy lived on throughout every single Blood Angel successor chapter, with all chapters who bear the blood of Sanguinius maintaining a Sanguinary Guard formation. Within the latest lore, all Sanguinary Guard, bar one brother, died defending their home system against High Fleet Leviathan. This one Blood Angel, Brother Soraeus, was therefore elevated to the honoured rank of Exalted Herald of Sanguinius, and is expected to lead the new Sanguinary Guard in future battles within the current lore. World Eaters, Rampager Squads. Rampager squads were unique to the World Eaters Legion, and it is entirely reasonable to believe they would exist in various forms throughout the era Indomitus for those generals who still maintain such traditions. World Eaters who had received the mentally corrupting gift of the Butcher's Nails, but whose mental stability had deteriorated worse than their brothers, were formed into Rampager squads. These are not to be confused with the Kaidiri, who had all but succumbed to the wanton bloodlust the nails triggered, and who were organised into groups so as to be pointed at the foe before being unleashed. In both respects, these unique, specialised formations epitomise the urgent, brutal slaughter which both their Primarch and ultimately their deity Khorne valued so closely. With the World Eaters only recently being granted their own faction within the 40k game, I do look forward to experiencing new unit releases as time goes on. I would love to see some Red Butchers, as I know most of the World Eater community craves, but also perhaps some biker or jump pack models all the quicker to join the slaughter. Dark Angels, Dreadwing. Cleansing horrors throughout the stars whose existence and ultimate fate will forever remain under lock and key within the Dark Angels' mobile fortress, the Rock. The First Legion waged war upon countless foes whose very nature would drive any mere mortal to question their sanity before even their younger cousin legions were founded. Known to be the Emperor's ultimate sanction against any who would dare stand against the ideals of his Imperium, the Dark Angels were trusted with powerful, ancient weaponry beyond the wildest imaginings of even the Adeptus Mechanicus. Within this taciturn legion, the secretive Dreadwing formation were only deployed in the direst of circumstances and against foes who the mighty First could not defeat in any other, more conventional manner. Specialising in the execution of terror tactics paired with the use of exterminatus level ordnance, the Dreadwing were the most brutal in character and deed of all the Dark Angels. Even within this dire brotherhood, there existed both units as well as senior ranks whose road to achieving their rank was paved with acts of extermination on an extinction level. The rank of Eschaton, for instance, was bestowed on a Space Marine of the First Legion who had overseen the complete extermination of a world or species in the name of their Primarch and Emperor. The Dark Angel Interrupters, on the other hand, are the First Legion's answer to the other Space Marine Legion's Destroyer Squads. So thorough is the annihilation Interrupters wrought that not a trace of the enemy could be found at the conclusion of their bloody work. Their axe upon enemy civilizations is said to hark back to ancient Terran days, where primitive armies would salt the earth, slaughtering all souls, even non-combatants, with the intention of utterly eliminating every trace of their foe. These unspeakable acts of brutality ensuring that no future generation would even bear knowledge of their existence. Alpha Legion, Headhunter Kill Teams. Headhunter Kill Teams were a veteran formation within the Alpha Legion. They were, and likely still are, small, highly elite special operatives whose objectives take them beyond the rank and file clash of battle lines and see them operating within hostile territory. Once inserted, the Headhunters use quality intelligence data, likely obtained through turncoat operatives, to target key installations such as supply depots, logistics pipelines, or any other number of choice targets to disrupt the enemy's overall war effort. Not only this, it is common for Alpha Legion Headhunter squads to seek out enemy leadership, assassinating either from a distance or infiltrating, as only the Alpha Legion can, to ensure a confirmed kill is achieved. When implemented in such a way, anybody facing an armoured force of Alpha Legion and their allies will be faced with the startling reality that they must conduct a war not only on one front, but from within also. It is tactics such as this, as well as the Alpha Legion's practice of instilling sleeper agents into enemy organisations, that ensure the Sons of the Hydra are always considered a dire threat to the steady, iron grip rule of the Imperium. I would love to see a unit of these guys converted from the Forge World kit or Space Marine Eradicators as part of a 40k tabletop force. Imperial Fists, Templar Brethren. The first company of the Imperial Fist Legion was known as the Templar Brethren, not to be confused with the Black Templars. Each warrior was a mighty champion in his own right, though their extraordinary swordsmanship is not the defining trait of these devoted warriors. In fact, the trait which earns a brother of the Imperial Fists a place within the noteworthy Templar Brethren of Dawn's First Company is each warrior's unwavering belief in the Emperor of Mankind's mission to unite a fractured humanity throughout the known galaxy. That's right, the trait which would earn these warriors a place among the best of the best was their own personal ideals relating to the Emperor's guiding philosophy of mankind's unification. It can be said that of all the Primarchs, Rogal Dorn was perhaps the most dedicated to his father's vision of the future, so this is no surprise, though it is a stark contrast to other specialist formations of the Space Marine legions and chapters. The Templar Brethren form the front lines of Imperial Fist battle lines, their storm shields and artificer armour offering considerable protection from the projectile weapons of their foe, whilst they close the distance to enter into a whirling, bloody melee. The zealous acts of bravery and swordsmanship displayed by the First Company are enough to spur on their brothers to greater acts of bravery. Word bearers, Gal Vorbak. Now bear with me here, the Gal Vorbak of the Heresy were nothing like possessed Marines in 40k. These word bearers, along with their demonic passengers, had achieved a true symbiosis, imbuing the traitor Marines' twisted forms with far more corrupt energy than their latter-day brothers and cousins. Their raw power is exhibited when, upon the planet Cadia, Argyltal and a handful of Gal Vorbak overcome a squad of Custodes in hand-to-hand combat. Though the Gal Vorbak, under the leadership of the dauntless Argyltal, are numbered roughly 1,000, they would suffer horrendous casualties during the war against the Loyalists that eventually the only remaining original Gal Vorbak was Argyltal himself. Within a legion which did, and still does, revere the demonic as holy, it would not be long until many of Argyltal's legion brothers perform their own sacred rites, allowing chaos entities to possess and empower them. Warriors such as this, who could call upon their inner demon to warp their armour and flesh into impossibly sharp talon or rending horns, were invaluable assets to their Primarch Lorgar as both hard-hitting assault units and shock troops. Needless to say, when Loyalist elements first encountered seemingly mythic beings such as demons during the years of the Horus Heresy, the shock this impressed upon them often lent the corrupt forces an upper hand in a lot of engagements. Sadly, there are no original Gal Vorbak left in existence within 40k, the last one dying at the hands of the scheming word-bearer, Erebus, when he murdered his legion brother, Argyltal, in cold blood, a slight which Khan of the World Eaters would later beat him for, almost slaying Erebus before he managed to flee. Iron Hands, the Iron Council. The flesh is weak, but the Iron Council is eternal. Within the stern, callous chapter that is Ferrus Manus' legacy, the Iron Hands eschew the rank of Chapter Master. For these dauntless few, they will not simply raise one individual above the rest. The members of the Iron Council, those of the highest rank, maintain the title of Iron Father. What is particularly peculiar about the Iron Council, besides the fact they elect the Chapter Master and remove the title for deeds they deem as unfit, is that upon the council sit not only those who are encased within a dreadnought sarcophagus, but also a member of the Adeptus Mechanicus, this individual being recognised within the council as the voice of Mars. The current chapter master of the Iron Hands, and therefore leader of the Iron Council, is named Cardon Stronos. It speaks volumes of this individual's capability and demeanour that he has not had the title stripped from him, even though he has maintained it for over 300 years. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to react or subscribe to the video so I can see in our analytics that it's trending. It really helps. Share the video with others that aren't aware of the channel or haven't seen it. As always, if you are within Australia or New Zealand and want to get up to 21% off 40k, hit up the link for Gap Games in our description. It helps massively. My aim as the channel grows is to provide links such as this for our viewers in other countries. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next week. Take it easy and have a good one.